We are back with another ranked doubles match, and this is going to be commentated by Lean Into It. This is hopefully going to help players out there. They're going to be playing the weekly this weekend. This is going to be the hard mode that players are going to be playing, and hopefully some of his instruction and tips and tricks will help you guys out. We'll let Lean take over, and
yeah, first shot in, we got Pyramid going for an ace run that goes straight through between the right two bricks there. That same shot can also deflect off of that center brick on the right side of it, as you see there. So we've got two decent runs at the ace, and you can see both of them are safe for a 2. So this shot, I'd say there's a slight bit of risk to get caught behind the fence. As you can imagine, if you don't hit that gap, you're probably taking a par here.
Lean, are you in observer mode?
What's that? Thanks for the reminder. Karma also tries for that kind of ace line gap in the center. I used to go for the gap to the right of that rightmost brick. I felt that it was a little easier to find that one for the 2. But if you want to try for the ace, that one doesn't really offer it. You can go on the outside of both fences and try to catch a longer line from the back, but it can be a little touchy on the pace, trying to get over both of those undulating hills. I think actually that is probably going to be our first point already on hole 1. I like to see Karma go for that recovery. That's a tough one, considering you need the slope of that green to be just right. So number 2, we're coming upon our first unicorn opportunity on the course. We might see someone go for it. Looks like Pyramid might be lining it up. Julian's gonna go safe after seeing his partner go for it. Let's see. In doubles, at least one person can try for this and the other lay up. Pyramid went for the 3rd gap in the teeth. I've actually practiced about closer to where Rich just tried on the 2nd gap in the teeth. And if you go to practice mode, you might even want to try basically a triple bank that starts on tooth number 2 to the left, hits in the center, hits again on the surface of the 3rd tooth, and then goes directly straight across. From there, the ball will swing over to the right and hopefully get a little bit of a push from the teeth coming back out. Nice putt from Julian.
Excellent.
Good speed on that putt. You do want that does push the hole. You do want a little bit of speed, or you have to time it perfectly if you're gonna hit that one slow. when it comes to stroke play this weekend, you're probably going to want to just lay it up. Unless you're unicorn hunting and you really want to give it a go.
And the flyby.
Alright, so through 2 holes, we've got the first hole scoring in favor of Pyramid and Julian, and the second hole a push. That puts those 2 up 1-0. Coming into hole number 3, this one is fairly aceable and without a lot of danger. And you've probably either aced this yourself or given it a try. The thing that you have to really pay attention to is your speed. The speed off the side of the wall to the left will determine the angle that the ball exits.
Just watching this hole makes me uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, there is a timing element, unless you mean it's kind of nauseating to see those little nodules go up and down.
I feel like I need to be in the black and white mode for this one.
In the mood for it. Oh, yeah, so you can see the slower that you hit this, the further back you can hit it. If you hit it with a little more speed, you can hit just a bit higher on that side skirting. So you see, with a little bit of extra pace, Pyramid would have needed to hit just slightly higher. That's a really delicate balance. Really delicate balance on that hole.
Another.
Alright, we pushed hole number 3.
Speed freak. Great job.
This is another unicorn opportunity. This is exceedingly difficult to go for the ace. I haven't even seen it with my 2 eyes, but you need to do some extreme back and forth. I think you might even need to jump over that center island there. But this one's all about the long putt from the back. Now that we have 2 safe over, they're going to have to decide, well, is it worth spending an opportunity at that putt to go for something outrageous? Or should, as a team, should we both have 2 shots at that long putt? Looks like Karma and Rich want those 2 putts. I imagine that Pyramid and Julian also do. It is just extremely difficult to pull off the ace. And this putt is no gimme.
There you go.
Confident stroke from Julian.
Yeah.
Nice pace on that one. I like seeing Rich kind of eyeball that one up, get a sense for it. Sometimes it's just part of a routine to
Rough.
kind of look over what exactly you've got to accomplish with the putt. There's only so much you can visualize when you're standing over and using your peripheral vision. If I just want to slow myself down, if I'm feeling some nerves, I might get behind a putt just to like look exactly over the path that it has to take to get to the hole. I see a lot of top players building that into their routine. Okay. And we've got another push, of course, on hole 4. So on hole 5, this is a par 4, our first of 3 consecutive. A lot of options here. We see Julian taking a shortcut through the center. Looks like Rich is lining up a fairly standard approach. And Rich does make contact with a crack that sends him a little bit off the pace to the green. I think that's the primary frustration with this hole is to find a crack. Karma has the pace to avoid everything and has a pretty nice line in, almost an unobstructed line into the cup. He's looking for the 2 there. Let's see if Pyramid can find a direct line. I want to give a shout out to Meadham here. He did show me a shot that I'm working on this week. And that is off of the tee to bring the line directly into the initial portion of this vine, or this stem on the rose here. And if you get a little bit of elevation off of the very most extreme point, it'll move the ball just slightly left and can help you avoid the cracks. That's kind of a new strat that Meadham showed me. I'll be working on that one.
Nice. Oh, come on.
An excellent try. I love the pace on that shot.
Nice shot.
And the more aggressive pace on that shot was really attractive too. When you're close to it, you want to make sure those features don't disturb your ball too much. Of course, Julian has a graceful pace. But I think that will score a point for Rich and Karma, which actually tie up the match. So we've got 1 and 1 going into hole 6, our second par 4. And a bunch of great options on this hole. You can exercise timing and pace and trying to go right through the middle of the table, right behind that candelabra.
Oh.
The thing I like about that shot, as you're seeing with Karma's, is that even if you are slightly off on the pace or timing, you can still find yourself a line fairly often. It's no guarantee, but we see a push on the other side actually give Julian a line 2. With a little bit of practice and just getting past that candelabra. Actually, find the shot fairly consistent. And I do like the slow approach like this. You're not going to be able to ace the hole with that pace, but look how clean that is. Excellent shot.
That was really good.
Also, yeah, I'm actually a little surprised to see all players go on the tablecloth. I used to see a lot more going left and trying to bank off the side of this. I see some players try and go behind this this plant on the right side and try for the ace over here, but those are both dangerous shots.
It's contagious.
A little bit hot on that putt. I don't think pyramid has a direct line. This is going to be fairly difficult to make. So as I was saying, you can get yourself an ace try by going actually behind this feature right here and being redirected by the edge of the table. That shot is difficult to reproduce unless you have quite a bit of practice with it. Here's where I'd want to unmute the players and check in on their strategy, but they're being fairly demonstrative. I think I get the gist here. See if pyramid can find the bank. Might be looking for a double. This is one of my favorite courses, and one of the reasons why is these wood skirtings are they have a very predictable
I love it. Monkey see,
very,
monkey do.
very predictable way of banking, as opposed to those metal surfaces and bricks and concrete surfaces that are really hard to predict. You're having to deal with a lot of timing elements here, and they make up for it by giving you an opportunity to bank off wood, which I love. Okay, we're coming into another par 4. This is hole 7. That actually saw a point from Rich and Karma, so we're... And, oh, okay, that's such a great drive. I love being away from that wall in the back. So our total is 1-2 now in favor of Rich and Karma. And the first drive pushed... had a lot of extra speed. It came off the back and gave kind of a eye-to-eye look at the hole there, directly across. And if I'm not mistaken, what we're going to see from that perspective is to go more or less straight for the hole with a very gentle pace, and let the wind bring the ball against the wood, getting a deflection and trying to hole it from there. Let's see if I'm right about Rich's shot here. And Karma is pointing it out perfectly. You actually can miss all of those features, but that's exactly the path that he wants to take. So all he needs from there is for the wind to redirect him. Maybe? I wonder if Julian would disagree with me. He seemed to be indicating some of the features, and I'm not sure if he meant to miss them or to utilize them to redirect the ball. But for my money, you don't need any feature of the green to do that. From my perspective, Julian might disagree. I don't think he needed that curvature to push the ball over left, and I think the result indicates why. He actually got a little too much to the left. And Karma, from the perspective, if you find yourself instead of eye level with the hole like that, if you're against the wall, that's exactly the approach you can take, but you can see it's fairly aggressive and dangerous.
Is it gone?
What a bold approach from Julian to take that same line. And still got the pace to stay safe. So this hole, it looks like it's going to push again. But Julian said, I don't care if my teammate is not... I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, actually that's true. Pyramid wasn't even on the fairway yet, so... Julian said, I'm going to take the aggressive line. Why not? And Julian will push the hole with a 3. Yeah, that pyramid demonstrates exactly how hard that shot is to make. And Karma shows how nearly impossible that putt is to make. If you're stuck in the wind like that, it is almost impossible to determine how much the wind is going to push you over. All right, well, you might think this is a par 4. I would forgive you if you did. This is actually hole 8, a par 3, and you really want to get through the trapdoor if you can. This, I believe, is a unicorn opportunity. that is the line to try for the ace. You have to get the pace and the spot and the timing just right, all three things. And I believe Rich had, well, maybe none of them exactly right on that attempt.
Not sure what the score is.
Julian says risk be damned. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're looking at 1-2. We have Pyramid and Julian scoring on the first hole. Then we have Rich and Karma scoring on holes 5 and 6.
Thanks. They did push on the last hole.
They did. Now the timing on this shot that Pyramid is attempting, he was late on that attempt, at least from my perspective. There might be a desync. It's hard for me to determine exactly how synced up the perspectives are, but you actually need to hit that book a little before that bookshelf starts turning. And the other trouble with that shot is you have to hit it hard enough to bank off the book with a little bit of speed. I think it's one of the more satisfying shots to hit off the right side of that book, the more narrow half that's split between that piece of twine or rope or string that's binding that book sitting in the fairway there. The smaller side is a little bit more rewarding and forgiving, but harder to hit. And we see exactly, it's really tough to get the timing lined up with the direction and pace. I'm happy with a par on this hole anytime. A 3 that you can a spot you can recover from like that and get through for a putt at the green. Obviously, you'll take it. And that being the case, you know, I often wonder here, as Karma squeezes that through, I mean, remarkable. That was just excellent. Timing, direction, pace, everything. He had to hit all three factors, and he squeezed it through. That was excellent. So as I was starting to say, sometimes I wonder on this hole, if you're really not confident in the difficult shot to try and access the green in 1, is it worthwhile to consider kind of laying up to get yourself in a position for 3? It's something I never see, but okay, excellent pace and location from Pyramid there. The timing was just very slightly too soon, I believe. So is it ever worth just straight up laying off and trying to get yourself positioned to get through to the green in 2? You know, it's probably worth considering for more players than are doing that right now. They're going to have a push for that hole, though. And only one player did not achieve the par. So even though everyone went for it, they had they took on as much danger as they could by trying to access the green directly. Only one got punished. It's a hard thing to say whether you should play that safe or not. Okay, hole 9. This is a par 4. And we have Julian demonstrating right off the bat a lovely way to access the eagle. That is the play that I've adapted. You have to get the timing right for that. Karma's taking a slightly safer line that's a bit harder to get a direct line from, but hits it hard enough to get it anyway. Those are 2 demonstrations of how to get yourself a 2 on this hole with different approaches. And now Julian's probably saying, okay, now that I'm there, let's try for the ace. You've got to hit this hard enough at exactly the right time, right before that door closes. And you're going to have to bank it at least 2 or 3 times before it goes towards the hole. I'm slightly unfamiliar with this ace line because I'm always trying to get the 2 here. That was a great try. It's a little bit riskier than trying to get the 2, but he found a line for the 2 anyway. And Rich is actually going to try for the 2 here as well. He was aiming just a bit high, and you can see that line was a little too high on the wall. If you want to find the location here, there is a smudge against the wall that you're looking for. It's further back. It's lower than you think it might be, actually. Give that a shot in practice, though. It's really worth it.
Oof.
What happened?
His ball's illiterate.
What is going on? Okay, I'm going to tune into the players here.
Mm. All right.
Well, they're having a conversation about glitches now, and I don't blame them. I unfortunately did not have a visual on exactly what happened there. I'm not sure if a ball got timed out. Hopefully it didn't cost anyone a stroke, but it might have. They're taking it fairly well, if so. But we have a push on the hole anyway. We got Pyramid and Karma both taking a 2, so that hole is a push. That is the front 9. We are finished with the front 9. Our scores are Pyramid and Julian at 1 and Rich and Karma at 2. Great matchup so far. Going into hole 10, this is a par 3. And there's a direct line. I actually like going directly for the hole, kind of like this, with a bit less speed. And there are at least 2 timings to get directly there. Pyramid is taking the same line that I think is the preferred ace line for the easy course. I think that is completely valid. And he almost nails it. Julian going for the zigzag as well. The timing is fairly easy. It's not a very dangerous line. You wait for that book with the kind of cross-like design on it to go through and go direct and go just behind it. Yeah, if you've played a lot on the easy course and you've tried for the ace that way, I can see why it's comfortable to go back to that shot. I certainly do that on the easy course, but on the hard course like this, I actually go directly for the hole. Right before these 3 books come back across the center.
Hollowed out
Actually,
book or not?
the pace is a little bit harder to find on that double bank because you're banking off of wood, which absorbs a fair amount of the ball's kinetic energy on impact there. This shot is so hard to time. Let's see if Karma can negotiate it. So here's what I try and visualize when I'm trying to make this putt with the 4 books that are spinning. Isolate one of the books, maybe the one that's the easiest one to see, like the one with the cross on it, or maybe you like the one with the little binding across its surface. Isolate one of the books and try and just pass behind it. Very hard to get the pace correct on that. You need to be a little pacey, especially when you're further away like that. So instead of 4 rotating books, I just see 1 rotating book. And I just hit right behind, right as that book I've isolated passes right in front of where my ball wants to enter next to the hole there. That can help you remove some of the clutter when you're trying to make that putt. Okay, we have a push on 10. We're looking at 11. This is a par 4. You don't have to hit this very hard, but you have to get the timing right. That was really close from Pyramid. I do like that approach. The timing is slightly different than the easy course. On the easy course, you want to line up your timing fairly well with that skirting coming down. Julian shows exactly how easy it is to get himself a 2 by actually banking first off of that teardrop in the center. I need to practice that shot because that looks so consistent and predictable. And you can see how forgiving it is when Rich attempts it. He's just slightly off, but he actually found the same. Okay, and Karma just steps up and hits exactly the perfect line on there too. So I actually need to practice that line myself. I think that looks like the best way to find yourself for the 2. How nice is it not to have a moving hole on this green? Matter of fact, I don't fault the designers for making the hole moving on the easy course, even though that makes it a lot more difficult. Give those players a challenge on the easy course, and on the hard one, say, okay. And you know what? This might end up even finding the hole by pushing it backwards like this. Yeah, that's kind of a cheeky way to hold that if you really want to impress the ladies. All right, we've pushed that hole excellently. We're looking at hole 12. This is a par 3 with at least 3 routes to access the hole. And find your way for, I believe, a potential unicorn on this one. Yes, I'm fairly certain that if you hold this, you will have done it for the first time in the history of the weekend, the classic weekly tournament. That's not going to get you the ace, but that's going to get you a beautiful 2. That's the pace I go for. Nice shot, Rich. Karma says,
he's got the
Rich,
beats.
Yeah, he says, Rich, you're down there. I'm going to put some more pace on it, but he still didn't have quite enough pace for the ace. I think this is the hardest easy shot on the course to hit the side skirting. It is like sitting there right in front of you, and yet somehow it is not a guarantee that you're going to hit it. Practice this one at least a little bit so you can develop some comfort with it. You don't need to whack that.
Karma.
Jeez. Okay, now if Pyramid doesn't hold this, it's going to be another point for Karma.
Nice. Oh.
Really nice try, Pyramid. Looks like we're at 1 to 3 now, if I'm not mistaken. Going into hole 13. This is another par 4. The infamous rotating doll heads. This is, I actually love this hole. Oh my goodness, Rich is playing so well right now. But, oh man, that is really difficult. He's gonna have to bank that against the rocking horse to access the hole from there, which is very doable. The rocking horse acts like wood. It's very predictable. Now the key to this hole is that because it's a quadruple bank, your pace will determine so much of your fate on this hole. Now that headless doll's body does not interfere with the ball. You can go right through that. Something tells me Julian's going to find access to the green here. Well, he does have a look at the 2, but that is a tough one to make. Can Pyramid find the green? and have an easy look at the 2. I like his location. He hit it very slightly hard. I mean, there's nothing there's nothing I can recommend more except for practicing that tee shot a lot. Keep one of the variables consistent at a time. So if you hit the same location with a bunch of different paces, and then use the same pace to hit a bunch of different locations, and see what you can find off the tee. Now what they're doing here is, if Rich wasn't just pasted up against the side of that, he could have potentially found a bank off of the tip of the feature next to the hole. I am...
Can karma get through the valley of the doll heads?
I've got a mix of emotions seeing Rich lay up like that.
Figured that would have been your shot. You laid right up.
Yeah, you know, maybe. I think they want to just try and push this hole. I guess they are, after all, up 2 points right now. They don't want to make a mistake with karma not guaranteed having access to the green, and you see perhaps that was a really safe strategic idea there. But Rich is playing so confidently right now, and he's just got like a calmness that I haven't seen in just a minute from him, that I'm a little surprised to see no opportunity
Probably
at the
because
bank
we're at a
off of the
tournament
rocking
play now.
horse.
Can relax a little bit.
Okay, it's worth being said that there is an invisible wall underneath that rocking horse. You can't assume precisely to trust the dimensions of that feature. And you see, I think Julian was going safe to go for a double there, to not try and push the edge of what is essentially an invisible boundary. You really don't have the full access underneath that rocking horse as you think you do, but here's a single bank opportunity for Pyramid. As Rich shakes out the glitches and puts in 3. This hole's going to be a push. It might be worth taking 5 minutes before the tournament and playing with the edges of that feature near the green. There's no other course that features this like fleur-de-lis type design on the green. It might be worth exploring what kind of recovery options you have. But now we are coming into hole 14. Pyramid and Julian are down by 2, and they've got only 5 holes left to catch up. This is an excellent par 4. I really enjoy this hole. A lot of different methods of accessing the green, but you got to have pace on it. Well, there's not much else to say about that. That was just perfect. That was a bit of a spray and pray. Outrider taught me a backwards shot on this hole. That is my favorite way to try and access the green in one. For the outrider shot, you essentially aim right here at this notch in the back, and it sends you all the way around. You want to hit it just as that sliding object comes back towards you. But how fun is it to have a hole like this where you get to plant a bunch of banks off of wood like this? This is a phenomenal 2 to try and make if you can, but finding 3 can be very satisfying. You can find a 3 from most places on this fairway if you're really clever enough. Well, and
Very
that's what I
close.
mean. That's what I mean. Rich is like playing so excellently. That pace, you see the pace on that shot?
He had it.
Yeah, he was doing 3 or 4 banks. To be honest, I didn't pay enough attention to know whether it was 3 or 4, but he knew. And
He did.
and he gave it the perfect pace to just glide right by the hole. That now I know I'm kind of living in the past a little bit, but just going back to the previous hole on 13, I just want to question once again why he didn't go off of that rocking horse again, seeing as well as he's playing right now. But you know what? Again, I have to say they are up 2. They are just trying to push the hole.
Yeah.
And Karma finds a beautiful pace to get through, to get onto the green from there.
Well done, well done.
Well, this is a par 2 on hole 15, and you know what? I really like going for the ace here. There's a little bit of danger for it. But, okay, let's see this unique angle from Julian. This is really interesting. Oh my, I mean,
Nom, nom, nom.
that's really sublime. That's the only word I have for that shot.
If you wonder what Cam's giggling about, it's me. I'm muted, making him giggle.
So
I
I
can't help it.
believe the timing here might be a 5-stage cycle where the undulation of the curves on the fairway give you 5 different opportunities to try and access the hole from a direct approach that Rich is lining up here. And out of those 5 different looks, only 2 of them give you access to the hole on the approach that Rich is looking at. Yeah, and he is looking at the right spot to do it too. Maybe slightly left from where he just set, where he's showing. But if he aims, but the where he was aiming might be perfect actually, because that's going to push you very slightly left. If he can find the pace and the timing, and the polar bear is chomping down right when that. Okay, that is exact opposite timing from what I was considering.
Don't do anything like that.
That was so he hit that when the wall was
Please
at its
consult your
least
physician.
at the least contracted amount. I hit it when it's most contracted up against the side of the wall, and right when the polar bear is chomping down.
So close.
Okay, and that was
Polar bear is mad.
that was just a truly valiant effort from Karma there to match. I am not at all surprised that Julian found a point for his team on that one to bring the match within 1. Yeah, let's see that again. Can we see that again, Julian? That was just a breath stealer.
Nom. Ah.
You know, some things are too good for this world. I don't think we're going to get another view of that ace shot.
There's always the replay. I was there.
Hit your freaking hit. Yeah, double tap on the left on your screen on YouTube because you're going to want to see that again. I don't recommend doing it necessarily, but you know. Okay.
There it is.
Thank
He
you.
did it.
Oh my goodness.
What a star.
Okay. We're looking at now Now, Julian and Pyramid are only down 1. We got hole 16. This is a par 2. And the only thing you don't want to see here is for either team not to make the ace. Boy, I'll tell you what, there's something psychological about making a hole so accessible that it feels like it's right there. I mean, it has to be a part of their design decisions to say, here's the ace, just put it in right here. That's all you got to do. And then you get to stand on the tee here and you go, okay, don't, if you allow yourself to think,
Perfect.
you allow yourself to think, oh, I should make this. I have to make this. Boy, please don't not make this. It starts to really mess with you.
Ooh.
Oh, we've got ourselves a tie game going into hole 17. This is nice freaking set of aces.
Right now?
That's my calculation. If it's not 3-3, okay. Actually, I really appreciate Julian showing the recovery from there. That was really helpful.
Ooh. Yeah, they're up 1.
Am I wrong? Okay,
They're up 1 now. Being told from the production booth, they're up 1.
Oh, I'm right. They scored 3 in a row. So we actually need Karma Rich to try and tie this up.
Ouch.
I did not realize that we scored a point on 14 as well. Good point. Okay. All right. Back to this here. That's a good shot. The timing on this one, it's a little bit hard to describe with words, but when that first panel goes from the extreme point and starts to go back towards you, you want to pass through the leading edge of the first plank to meet at the back the second plank as it goes through that diagonal. So in other words, if you decide I'm going to aim to the right of the hole, you have to let the wood panel on the first go to the extreme right side, start to come back towards you, and then you pass over on the right side, and that's going to find the panel at the back on the right side when it gets
there.
There
It is.
Very hard to get the ace here.
Nice base. There it is.
That's going to push hole 17. So now we have Pyramid and Julian actually up 1 going into hole 18. Let's see if Rich and Karma can find an ace on this hole. They're probably going to need an ace to tie this up and send it into overtime. The ace is fairly doable here. Now if Pyramid can drop the ace here, it'll be a walk-off. So he was high on the skirting there. You need to be further down, close to where the point of that shadow starts. That was also high.
There it is.
Okay, Karmas has secured the 2. That's unlikely to be enough for the point. So Julian,
Wow,
the pace is good. Oh, it's
kid.
over. It's freaking
Nail
over.
in the coffin.
That's a walk-off victory.
ripped the entire spinal cord out with the head attached.
Pyramid calls it immaculate. I agree with him. The pace was perfect.
Back 9 bombers.
Pyramid double checking if he contributed to the match, and he did.
Save 9 because I tried to smack the fuck out of it and knew.
Yeah.
Alright, I've unmuted all
Alright,
the
good
players.
night, guys.
To watch.
What a
Cheers.
great
That
match.
was
Or
great.
if you guys want to
Appreciate
vote it
you
up,
guys.
we'll show what the
Yes.
Elo
It
exchange
was
is.
It's always fun
Good
losing
game, you
Elo.
guys. That was,
Well, you shouldn't lose a lot. Hopefully.
No, I lose a fair amount, unfortunately. I wish I
Are
lost
you up?
less.
Are you up there in the ranks?
Not really.
Hmm.
I'll have to check where I am. I think that match against you and Dudeness set me up a pretty good bid.
We keep telling him he's got a lot of potential. He could be up there if he applied himself. But he keeps smoking weed.
I could be up there if I applied myself, I agree.
I'm 5 right now.
Yeah, we just need Rich to vote. I don't know if Rich is gonna vote. Yes,
Hopefully he does.
He did. Awesome.
This
Alright,
this one will
let's
put
see.
me on
Alright.
in 4th because I'm 0.7
Ooh.
you behind Dudeness.
Let's check these numbers out.
Maybe in 3rd as well. Because I'm 8 behind Joe.
All right, so
7.
we've got Pyramid up
Nice.
47.76. Julian up 16.71. Julian was a very valuable player. He didn't get much. Karma down 34.79. Rich down
I think you carry Julian.
29.69.
Alright, well. The Elo was
Good
worth
practice.
the good company. Good game, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you, Lean.
some
He gave
practice
some
to do.
incredible tips. I learned a lot just listening
Yes,
to
Can't
him.
wait to watch it back.
Yeah,
This is
hopefully
good.
the
I'm gonna have
viewers
to
will
watch that back
learn
too.
a lot as well. Extremely helpful. Thank you so much, Lean. Thank you so much, Cam, for the dual cam. Thank you, players,
Thank
for letting
you.
us
Thanks, Lean.
record. And we'll see y'all in the next one.
All right.
See ya.